Here in Las Vegas, many workers have reported refunds of $5, $6, $7, $8,000 or more, and they've never had anything. It's all from no tax on tips alone.
The Trump administration taking a victory lap this tax season as 53 million Americans claim at least one of the president's new tax cuts, including the no tax on tips and no tax on overtime. For more, let's bring in the host of Bar Rescue, John Taffer. John, nobody knows more about this stuff than you. Does no tax on tips mean better service if servers know that they're going to get to keep the whole piece of the pie?
Well, it creates a whole different attitude at work, Peter. Good to be with you today. But think about this. Approximately 6 million people have taken advantage of no tax on tips, and the average deduction is about $7,100. So think of a young working mom or a young working couple. That's a lot of money, Peter. So I think they're seeing that their income has gone up so much, morale has increased a bit. Every day is a bit more worthwhile. Every shift is a bit more worthwhile. And as a restaurant owner, it's wonderful to see our employees benefit in this way. So we think it's going to reduce turnover, and we think it's going to improve their quality of life. And look, Peter, anytime, in my view, we move dollars from the public sector and put it in somebody's pocket, it's a win-win.
And as we've been tracking this during tax season, there are 3 big blue states that are going to keep taxing tips and overtime. It's California, New York, and Illinois. How much might that hurt the talent for chefs and bartenders and waiters at restaurants in some of these great food cities if they know that they can just move somewhere else, move to Florida, move to 47 other states where they get to keep their whole tip?
Yeah, first of all, no surprise when you look at what those 3 states are, of course. But, you know, look at what's happening in those states. There's reverse migration happening in those states in the first place. So if you put the income tax impact, the cost of living impact, and now that they're going to be taxed on their tips that they wouldn't be in most other states, I just think it's another reason to leave. And I think that's what the impact will probably be. But I feel bad for the restaurant operators in those states, Peter, who are now disadvantaged on a competitive basis. Imagine if your restaurant was 1 block from the state line. And how many restaurants are within a mile or 2 of the state line? Well, that employee can drive 2 miles and not pay tax on tips. So that's going to cut the legs off on operators that are in those kind of proximities.
And do you think, obviously, now that people are starting to get their returns, people who filed on tax day, they will see this. But do you think that a lot of waiters and bartenders and hosts knew that their tips and overtime were not going to be taxed before they filed? Or is this going to be a big surprise when they get their return and they say, whoa, that's bigger?
It surprises me how many of our employees were unaware of this. And I guess it all depends upon what media you watch these days and where you get your information from. But yes, there were many who weren't. Also, there are a lot, I think, Peter, who felt that, I want to wait and see. Sure, no tax on tips. Let's see what happens in the end. And, well, now they're seeing what's happening in the end. They're seeing the real dollars and cents impact of it. Peter, imagine if you make $30,000, $35,000 a year as a waitress or a waiter and you're in college or you're a single parent. This is really impactful for them. It's very exciting to see, as one who's in this industry, to see our employees benefit in this way. It's just terrific.
And while we are on the topic of tipping, I have wanted to ask you this ever since the last time you were on, and I forgot to. What is the proper etiquette for tipping on takeout?
You know, it's interesting. To me, the proper etiquette for tipping on takeout would be about 10 to 12%, in my view. Remember, there's no table service. It's really just a packaging fee, if you will. And I'm not one who doesn't do 0 on takeout. I think that's completely incorrect. But I think anywhere between 10 and 15% is fine. But I think, you know, for service today, you're really tipping in a range of 20%, or maybe a little higher today for a great experience.
And something else really interesting, over the last couple of years, and we've talked about this on the Sunday briefing, we've noticed that restaurants have had to adapt because young people are drinking less, so they're spending less. Now, a trend, a lot of restaurants are banning phones. They're making people lock up their phones to get people to concentrate more on the food and on the experience. Do you see that as catching on?
I do. You know, Peter, we create these wonderful experiences, and you're supposed to escape from reality when you're in our operations. You're supposed to be enjoying our music, looking in other people's eyes. And, you know, Peter, you can drink at home. You can put on your satellite, watch whatever you want. You can listen to any music that you want. You can make your drinks exactly the way you want them. But what you can't get at home is social interaction, connectivity. And that's what great bars and restaurants deliver, especially in higher energy environments. That phone is a brick wall to that interactivity amongst people. So that is the greatest thing about a bar, is that we connect with other people, we connect with music and energy, and the phone inhibits that. So yes, I think that's a trend that might grow a little bit. I think they're doing non-phone hours too, happy hours. They're not making it an all-day process, but I think it's sort of fun, and I think when people go do it, I think they'll enjoy the escape.
And if I need to take a picture of my food, I will just bring a disposable camera. John Taffer. Everybody go buy Taffer's Brown Butter Bourbon and watch Bar Rescue. Thank you.
Good to see you, Peter.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.